Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick-and-mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I'm passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love, because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you are meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. All right, you guys, the time has come. You have all asked, and we are back. This is the Inspire and Move X collab community podcast. But wait, there's more. So you get Ali and Kristina and
Rosé.
Hey. Cheers to that.
We've graduated from the Negronis. You guys loved the Negronis. We got so much feedback about the Negronis, one. Mm-hmm. Two, we got so much feedback. People loved what we talked about, which was so fun. So we're back. We're drinking and
I think there's
fun.
a three. I think people love us.
Yeah, I hope so.
And you know what's so fun? That I feel like that was kind of on a whim when you came over to the house that day to record. And I was like, I feel like the energy of having a Negroni for this episode would be really fun.
Yeah, we loved bartender Matt.
Yeah, he was in his glory that night. Didn't join us for a Negroni, but he made some great ones. And because that's something that I actually feel like I have seen in shows and movies. I was like, this looks so fun watching girlfriends just like, or sisters.
Yeah.
I think that's the show with, and I'm obviously going to blank on the name right now, but it's like two sisters that have a podcast. And it just looks fun where you're just having a glass of wine, you're talking to the microphone about, you know, whatever your zone of conversation is for the show. That just feels like a really good time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important that no matter, like, especially with podcasting, it's so important that you like doing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you have fun doing it. I think so many times in business and in life, we do things that like aren't fun, but we didn't become entrepreneurs not to have fun.
I know, because entrepreneurship is hard.
We were just talking about many woes we have. We're going out for a dinner after this and probably another glass of wine.
Yep.
And entrepreneurship is hard.
We have a lot to talk about.
A lot. We've been apart for a while.
So
Since the last podcast.
I know, which was Galentine's.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, yes. That's a long time. It's like
I
2
know.
months.
I've been to Australia and back.
Australia back. California back twice?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just been here with my child. I think I went on a few trips.
But you also had High Vibe Women.
I had High Vibe Women.
A banger.
Yeah, that was a banger. You missed maybe the best one yet. Maybe the best one yet. Oh, Matt Millier, Video Matt, nodded.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, it was good.
My FOMO was at an all-time high.
Oh, you were missed, though. You were missed.
Thank
Actually,
you.
one girl asked me where the dancing blonde chick was. And I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about in Australia.
Okay, so that is a great segue because we're talking about personal brand.
Yeah.
So if I have made myself known at High Vibe Women all but one as the dancing blonde chick, I feel like I've done something right.
You have. Well, it's so funny with personal brand, like what you're associated with. You know what I mean? And like that's such an important thing as we curate our brands online, like what it looks like, what you're associated with. Like sometimes people will be like, oh, you're Kristina from High Vibe Women. And I'm like, I'm Kristina from the social snippet. Like that's how I feel.
You have like two identities.
I have two identities, but they're forming. I think they're merging, but
and community Kristina.
Community Kristina. Lots of stuff. You too. You have Benchmark Ali.
Yeah.
Visibility Coach Ali.
Mm-hmm. We both have MCM Ali Kristina.
Yeah, we have MCM Ali and Kristina, which that's fun.
And podcast.
Yeah.
I sometimes, and I would love your thoughts on this, sometimes I struggle with the like, I mean, if I'm filling out a form, let's call it like a medical intake form, what do? Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
like,
you're not
classic.
MCM coach, a visibility coach.
Yeah. Could I have another line on this form, please,
Podcaster.
sir? But sometimes when it comes to, let's talk about, you know, like Instagram bio or the other things that you can sort of tag on Instagram. Sometimes I struggle with like, what the heck do I call myself?
Yes, totally.
Because everything feels important.
Mm-hmm.
And now even in terms of like having a podcast is a great asset that you own, but is that my identity? Is that my brand? Or is it just like a little wing?
Yeah.
How do you feel in terms of personal brand and what someone does and also the identity of having a podcast?
Yeah, it's hard because like, I don't know how many people who are podcasters associate, like would call themselves podcasters as like part of their profession, right? Like when someone asks me my career, I'm always like business owner, like I don't really say much else. And now I'm like, I have two jobs. Like I help run these events for female entrepreneurs. And then also I have this marketing agency. We do podcasts and social. And that's always been kind of my identity. But I don't ever think about my podcast as its own job, even though my podcast is monetized. So even though I do make money on every single one of my episodes in some capacity, I don't think of it as a job. But I don't know.
It's an interesting conversation, and I feel like it's actually something I've thought about for a really long time, and I'm sure lots of people listening, watching can identify with this conversation, that I think it's even just an asset, and maybe it's something that naturally rolls into your personal brand.
Yeah, totally.
And it's something that you can use to sell your products and services,
Mm-hmm.
use as a funnel for your lead magnet that then, goes into an offer. We hear our friend Lori talk about how she loves interviewing guests that she just wants to get to know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Totally.
someone like Lori with your Earn Your Happy podcast, she's like top 25 in entrepreneurship. So what a value add for someone to come on and be like, sure. Like she just had Amy Sangster on. Great episode.
Yeah.
And for someone like Amy, maybe that is a great opportunity for her for the exposure standpoint. But for Lori, she gets to learn the things that Amy's really good at.
Yes, totally.
It's like a networking tool.
Totally. I just actually spoke in your visibility accelerator this past week.
Crushed it.
Oh, thank you. So sweet. I love your peeps, and it was just so sweet to see so many familiar faces there. Allie's peeps are so amazing. And I actually talked about how to get on more podcasts as like a visibility, tool to get some traction. And that's a big piece of it, right? It's just using it as a networking tool, getting in front of people, chatting. Like even today, somebody joined our membership, our High Vibe Women online community, because they heard me on a podcast and they've been to our events, they've been to brunches. It just had to hit at the right time, right? And so sometimes people need to see things over and over again. And that's why actually talking about what it is that we do over and over again, whether that be your podcast episodes, whether that be your offers, whether that be something new, like we need to be talking about things until we're like sick of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people I think kind of miss on visibilities. They think like, oh, talked about that one time and nobody purchased, hee hee.
And I think there's such an interesting correlation between visibility and confidence. And I think the confidence piece is exactly what you're saying, that people will talk about something one time and then they're like, I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I don't want to
totally.
annoy people. Unfortunately, you do kind of have to be annoying.
Yep.
If it's something that you want to, if it's a message that you want to share, if it's an offer that you want to promote and sell, obviously if you're in business to make money, and there's no shame in that. But it comes that confidence piece where you have to talk about things repeatedly. And then that ties in effortlessly to visibility.
Yeah.
And being more visible, whether it is talking about your offer, but also just being visible in the way that people can see you and connect with you and know, like, okay, who you are, what you do, what you're about, and be able to refer you.
Yeah.
To know, oh my gosh, yes, Kristina, High Five Women, you have to go to that event. It's amazing. I met this person. And then they're also listening to your podcast because you post regularly and you share regular episodes consistently, and it all kind of goes together.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's also this fear around being visible that I think people really struggle with. I don't know. I know you really help people with those blocks in coaching, but like, I think people really struggle to be consistent, to show up and all of those things because they're actually scared of what will look like, what that looks like, not what will happen, because they want what will happen, but they're scared of like putting in the work on it because they're fearful of being judged. And it's like, no, there's this like thing online. It's like, no one hates an influencer more than their own friends. Right? Where it's like,
So true.
right? It sucks. And you've experienced this. I've experienced this too, where it's like people in my life who I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought you'd be so supportive. They're like, oh, have you muted? Because like you post about your podcast a ton. I'm like, oh, actually, you should be the first person downloading it. Like my closest girlfriends, they download it every week, even if they're not going to listen, so that I get the numbers. My friend runs my YouTube in the back, like so that I can, get monetized one day. Like, so that's actually like the kind of friendship we're looking for, but it's just so easy to let like, the haters bring us down.
Okay, I love that you brought this up because it's so timely that I had just shared an event yesterday with our mutual friends, Nicole and Kayla.
Yes,
My Line Person.
we love
My
them.
Line Purpose. I was like, I'm smiling so big I couldn't even say their brand name correctly. And I know they do their podcast with you, with the Social Snippet. And they have an event coming up. And, at the time of this recording, it's coming up. Perhaps now when it's aired, it's already been a smashing success. And Nicole is in the Visibility Accelerator. And she had shared that they have one ticket left at our most recent call. I was like, one ticket? Oh my gosh. Like, we will all share it. Like, girls, get out your phones after this call, share the event. Let's get this last ticket sold. And I woke up this morning and was getting ready to head to Benchmark, saw this Instagram alert, and I'm so happy to see that they were sold out.
Yes.
But the moral of the story is Nicole and Kayla both reshared my story and had put this lovely, like, thoughtful text on screen to say, like, this is what friendship is about, and like
Yeah.
hype girl friendship of sharing your friends' events, how that is so impactful. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people that don't see that way, and then they
Mm.
also don't do it.
Yes.
So whether it is, muting content because they don't like your podcast stories or reels, whatever it is that you share, and maybe sometimes they're triggered by it, maybe there's jealousy.
Oh yeah, it's never about you guys. Like listening to this, like I've had people like leave my email list. I remember I used to feel so insecure about that when people
Mhm.
would leave. And then what I ended up kind of like one girl ended up kind of chatting with me and I was like, "Oh, like you actually unsubscribed from our email?" Because she asked a question about something that was in an email and she was like, "I didn't get this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you unsubscribed from our email. Like that's why you didn't get it." And she was like, "Yeah, like you guys were just doing the damn thing and I needed to unsubscribe."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Oh, like, because I made up all these stories, right? She doesn't like what we're doing. She's judging us. What is like, why is she doing that?" And it really wasn't about me. It was about her. And I think it's really interesting because I think from, as business owners, like it feels really personal and it can be really
Mhm.
hard. But when you're building a personal brand, especially, you and I both have monetized personal brands, you got to do stuff for money.
Well, yeah, like it's not free to have a house.
Yeah.
And dog food is not free.
Not the dog food.
Diapers are not free.
The dog food you're feeding your dogs is not free. I will tell you that.
No, and now I'm into the optimizers. Like I want them to have sardines and bone broth.
Stop.
How am I supposed to buy those things at the grocery store?
Yeah. No.
You need money.
You need money.
And that is like probably a whole other conversation just about like money mindset, like how we were raised, our relationship with money as from a child, like all of those things.
Yeah.
And
Wait, have you had Vanessa Bowen on your podcast?
I've not.
Okay. Do you know her?
No.
Okay, I'm going to introduce you. She was one of the High Vibe Women speakers at the last High Vibe Women. I know. So
Triggering my FOMO.
Yeah.
Thank you so
sad.
much.
But we did a podcast episode on my podcast about that.
Oh, I love that.
So I'll introduce you guys because that's like a slam dunk.
Okay, perfect example of like caring for your friends and connections and all of that when it comes to like hyping up and seeing the opportunity.
Totally.
And I think that is something, I know I was just on a tangent about money mindset, but even just coming back to the idea of like hyping up your friends and you guys, even coming back to visibility, one of the things that I have all of the women in the group do is they have a homework assignment every week.
Yeah.
That is absolutely tied to social content and visibility, but the community that we have created inside the container is full of love and support, and it's so wonderful to see. It makes my heart so happy. But it's to go and engage with the other people's posts.
Yes, love that.
And it does not take that much time. It's like back in the days of like pods. Do you remember those on Instagram where you had like your little connection pods or engagement pods? But going back to that it's a social platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a social tool.
Well, and I think people don't I don't know how people don't realize how amazing it is, how you feel when people share your stuff. Like when people share, even with High Vibe Women, I take note of the speakers who sell tickets, always, who post in their stories, who talk about it, who are DMing me, asking me for codes or asking me to hook up a payment plan for someone. Like I take note of those things. And then the next time, you're running an event, you're like, "Hey, I'm looking for a panelist for something," or "I'm looking for someone." I'm like, "Oh, actually, this person was amazing." Like Vanessa is such a great example. Vanessa shows up for High Vibe Women. Like Vanessa always posts in her Instagram stories, like there was my life pre High Vibe Women, there's my life now. Like so kind. So of course I'm going to recommend her. Like it's easy. I want to help her grow her personal brand however I can, right? So I think it's so important that we're doing and trying to support each other as much as we can. And if you see people online doing things that are cringe, ask yourself why you think they're cringe.
Well, cringe is like kind of hot right now.
Yeah, big time.
And I am here for this evolution of cringe and being unapologetic,
Yeah.
being audacious, and being bold. And I think also using it, like things are changing so quickly, whether it's, from the AI front, Instagram algorithm, just what's working, what's not, and using it as an opportunity to test.
Yeah.
And even being a little bit more unattached to the outcomes.
Yeah.
That
Because you're trying new content.
I'm trying new content. Like I'm doing this like glitter gremlin thing, or like, what does this have to do with anything that I am doing, teaching, offering, selling? And I was talking to my best friend Rochelle about it,
Yeah.
who you know and love. And I was like, what does this relate to for my personal brand? She's like, visibility.
Yeah.
And sometimes you actually just need an outside
Oh
opinion,
my God, totally. Like,
borrow the belief from someone else.
yes. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone and I'm like, how do you grow a podcast? You know, like I'm doing the damn things. And then we looked at my numbers and I've actually 6x my downloads since 2024. 6x. So it's like thinking about it from that perspective. A little
Please
cheers.
hold. Cheers. Hey, girlfriend, I want to tell you something I am genuinely so excited about because I'll be there and I want you to be there with me. On May 21st in Brooklyn, New York, I'm joining an incredible lineup of speakers at the $1 Million Personal Brand Workshop, hosted by Jess Williamson and designed for ambitious women who are ready to stop being the best kept secret in their industry and start building their empire. We're talking advanced positioning strategies, real conversations about how $1 million businesses are actually built, and in-room implementation so you leave with a real plan, not just a head full of inspiration. Only 200 women in the room. It's intimate, intentional, and powerful. Head to the details in my show notes to secure your ticket, and I can't freaking wait to see you in New York.
It's so easy to forget about your own wins, your own expertise, right? And sometimes you just need another person on the outside to be like, hey, this is actually like, you're doing the damn thing. And just showing up as doing the damn thing. And hold those people close. Like, don't be afraid to use that mute button. Don't be afraid to hide things from people or like unfollow people, like doing those things. Because like, it's really hard when you're building your personal brand. You have to be a little cringe.
Yeah. And you have to test. And like someone that I have just loved watching and learning from is Jen Gottlieb. And I saw yesterday she posted, I guess her husband got her like the big balloon, 750K is what she hit on Instagram. Like she'll be at 1 million probably by next week.
Yeah.
She has worked so hard on building a personal brand
Yeah.
and has done it so well, but has taken messy action for many, many years.
Yeah.
And has showed up consistently, whether she feels like it or not, whether it's her get ready with me Instagram lives in the morning, posting like 5 pieces of content a day. And so that's what I'm trying to use as inspiration. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Like if you have a day where you're full of podcast interviews, meetings,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just hard if you don't have anything prepared and ready.
Yep.
It's hard to step aside and create the content. I have something I'm going to be posting literally probably when I go to the bathroom before you and I go out to dinner. It'll be a photo with like a caption, this engagement tactic that doesn't really have anything to do with working out from a benchmark standpoint, visibility, podcast.
Yeah.
But it's like a connection opportunity for me with my audience.
Totally.
That's just something like lifestyle wise.
Yeah.
And I think playing around with that, and when it comes to your personal brand, I think also letting people know who you are personally. Don't try to be something that you're not.
Yeah, totally.
So if you were trying to think of like who you would not be, but like pretending that you're being something else, that you are so authentically you of how you show up in your interviews, whether it's, you do solo episodes or interviewing guests,
Yeah.
how you show up on stage to lead this room of 200 to 250 women with high vibe women, how you show up as a mom doing all the things.
Yeah.
And even like marrying, I don't even know if that's a proper word, but like marrying. I was like, that was not
I was like, do
proper
I correct
English.
her? I don't know.
No, just go with it. Like having that blend and that duality of your role as a mom
Yeah.
and also a very much high achieving entrepreneur and taking people along for the ride and showing that personal side of Kristina Bartold.
And people love that, right? Like, I think even for you, think about all the people who have probably like come to Benchmark or come to your events. They know your dog's names. They know like about your house. Like they know all these things about you. You're a public figure in the Burlington, Ontario area. I tried to make a connection for you today, and the person was like, "Yes, I know who Allie Rudd is." I was like, "Okay, perfect." But like that's such a great example, right? Like, and look how many opportunities, especially like I've been watching you on your come up over the last few years, right? We were just talking in another episode about how we've been friends about 3 years.
And we were also talking about how you have graduated to be
I'm an air fryer.
No. In my iPhone. What are
Oh,
you?
iPhone. I'm a pinned friend. I'm a pinned
Yes.
friend.
I just needed to have another moment for that.
Yeah, I know. I was hovering. I was hovering, and we always laugh about like Jen Gottlieb circles, and I'm always
Yeah.
like, I'm fine to be in the second circle. I don't want to be in the third one though. Like,
No,
don't
you're
let
not
me
in the
slip.
third.
Don't let
No.
me slip. How many people are in number 2?
I think we're at like 5 to 15.
5 to 15. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you are locked and loaded in circle 2.
Okay, perfect. Great. Phew. But I think like I can't remember what I was going to say. What were we talking about before? We talked about pinned friends.
We were talking about Burlington, Ontario,
Oh, yes.
Public
Okay.
Fever, how we met in a mastermind.
Yes. And so I've seen you on your come up over these last few years, right? And I think it's been really cool to see how much your brand has evolved, right? Because I think your brand deals have only increased. Like we were laughing today about how Allie and I own the same backpack, but when she wears it, she looks hot. When I wear it, I look like a dork who was just like taken out of a locker. So it's just so funny. But it's like she influenced me to buy this backpack. Guys, Hayes, give this woman some money. Give this woman some
Hey,
money.
and I told you, hey, I told you that I just got accepted to their ambassador
Is
program.
it just Hay?
Hayes. No, it's Hayes.
Oh.
But I tried to make a joke and be like,
Oh, understood.
hey.
Did I get the brand wrong? We understand. Understand.
No, you're spot on with the brand.
You.
But just please be aware that you will be buying a suitcase shortly.
Yeah, can't wait. Send me that affiliate link.
Yeah,
Send it
I will.
my way.
I will.
But like we've seen your brand evolve so much, right? And like now you have this awesome partnership with Dermetics. You love the work you do with them. Like you have all these awesome things that have come, and like that's come from you not being afraid of being cringe
No.
or receiving criticism.
Nope.
And or getting a hater, like, you know what I mean? And so even sometimes that's inspo for me as I've been growing my audience slowly just behind you, being like, okay, when I get a brand deal or I get something come up, I'm like, okay, how do I like do this in the way that's the most authentic to me? That's like so personal for me that I can show up just so fully and not be worrying about any of that.
Well, I think it comes back to like that authenticity piece and who you are. And you are exceptional at over delivering value. And I know that we've talked about this when it comes to like brand partnerships, collaboration, that, you know, whatever the agreement may be, if it's sponsored dollars or if it's swag for the High Vibe Women gift bags, that you will over deliver like content. Maybe it's ads on your podcast or a feature in your newsletter. If it's a speaking, you know, like a 10-minute speaking spot at the event, whatever it may be, obviously depending on the scale, you always provide so much value, but that's who you are as a person. You're not even trying to, you know, put on a mask in terms of like, okay, I'm putting on like High Vibe Women Captain Kristina hat and trying to just like market this deal. It's who you are as a person. And that's how you lead.
Well, I think that's like the best part about building a personal brand is like you get to lead with like your own values, right? And for both of us, you know, referrals, generosity, that's like core to both of who we are, right? We were talked about in our other episode that aired about like your Gremlin season where you stopped giving out referrals for a bit because you were sad.
Yep.
Now she back.
Well, she almost came knocking again.
No.
Yeah, where I was like, I don't know, I might have to come back. But then I went to Australia and it was like a good reset.
You were fine. Yeah. But I see how that can happen. You know what I mean? But I think it's a great like example of like when you get the opportunity to show our values, we get to show up all the time and you want to be known for things and you start to see that, right? Like I said, people always make comments about my social and they're like, oh my gosh, you're the same online as you are in person. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, I want to show you guys the behind the scenes. You get to see the BTS of like the fun stuff that I'm doing and building. But also, I want to be as real as possible that like sometimes this sucks.
I swear I just sent a voice note to someone about this. Maybe it was a coaching client. It was just recently something I said, how like that is actually one of the best compliments that you could get. It's like a weird, twisted compliment. Maybe I was talking to myself on a podcast episode, actually, now that I say this out loud. Is probably what it could have been. But recently I said this.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Can't
and
wait.
How it actually is a compliment, slightly cringe, like a slightly cringe compliment, but it's true to who you are.
Yeah.
Where you're like, that's great. It feels like you're sharing this in like an odd space, but that's okay. I'm going to take it and I'm going to take it as a compliment with love.
It's a total compliment.
Because that is great. And it's fun to kind of walk away. And depending on the person, maybe you know them, maybe you don't, or you know something about them. I've had a few of those moments where I was like, oh, you've totally been in spaces where I've been talked about, not in a kind way, but now you get to meet me and judge for yourself and make your own conclusion. And you see that I am the same in person as I am online. And that makes me happy and satisfied.
Well, it's interesting because I actually think being like a personal brand or having a personal brand, which by the way, guys, everybody has one. Whether you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers or 10.9, whatever it is. Are you at 10.9?
11.
You hit 11.
Hit 11, baby.
Oh, amazing. Visibility Coach Allie going hard. But wherever you are, right? Like you have a personal brand and you're putting yourself in a way, like it sounds negative, but in the line of fire when you're posting. That's a brave thing to do. No matter what, it's brave. You're posting, you're showing up in your life. And so I just think it's just a reminder, like, you're not going to make everybody happy and you're not going to be able to please everybody, but no good things come like on an easy path.
No, and like it doesn't come from your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you want to grow and be different, so like let's talk social.
Yeah.
If you want to grow from 500 followers to 5,000 followers, well, you're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable. Maybe you're going to have to do things that are cringe.
Yep.
But you're not going to get to that 5,000 by just doing the same things and taking the easy route or the path of least resistance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I see this a lot in whether it's, from a leadership standpoint, when you're leading a team and people that, do they want to assume the role before they're ready? Oh, maybe not. It's kind of hard. So I'll stay the same. I don't really want to post 3 to 5 times a week, let alone 3 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
I love when people tell me that. I was like, woof, girl, you guys pick up the train over there.
Yeah. How many times a day are you posting?
I'm trying to do 3.
Wow.
Sometimes 5. It depends on the day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but then sometimes it's 1.
Yeah.
But I really try for a 3. Kind of like a...
And have you seen accelerated growth from that?
Yeah.
On your account? That's good.
And I'll see things that are like, this person followed you from your reel. And I've now entered a season where I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. It used to be like, oh, I know this person. Oh, I met this person at High Vibe Women.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen this person. Now it's just like, I have no idea.
Yeah, love.
Which sometimes you're like, oh my God, this is actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But then my goals are bigger. So that supersedes the, oh, this is scary. I don't know who this person is.
Totally.
And you make smart decisions with what you post. Like, I don't want to post my street address.
Yeah.
So if we have a wonderful collaboration with the lunch meals that we get delivered with Lauren of Only the Good Stuff. So when I post that story content, I want to make sure that the label is not showing my address.
Yeah. Smart. Actually, it's so funny. He might listen to this, but one of my employees, he did this thing where he like walked from Waterloo to Burlington with his feet. And he started his story with like, hey, we're starting at this address and this is the address we're going to. And I'm like, you're asking to be murdered, my dude. Like you need to give people less information online. And I think that's also an important like note as well, which comes up a lot in MCM actually that people ask is this like boundary of like, what's too much? Like how much posting is too much posting, not in quantity, but like about my life. And you're the only person who can decide that,
Oh yeah,
right? Where
like
it's like
self-boundary.
Totally. Like
Little
some people post and I'm like, oh, woulda never. And then some people post and I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I have no idea what's going on. That could have been a really easy sale. So anyway, we went in many directions on this one.
We did, but at the core, to just really tie a bow on this, everyone has a personal brand.
Yep.
And it is an asset. Don't be afraid of it. Use it.
Yep. There's
And-
so much potential with it.
I would go one step further, like use it wisely and effectively.
And don't be afraid if it doesn't always work out the way you want it to.
No, because you're going to learn from things.
Yeah.
And I had just said that on an episode recently that Matt and I were recording of just how you get to learn from things. That I think it was about the visibility program when I did the webinar masterclass. I had never done it before, but I had it imposter syndrome, but I was like, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm like, can't be that hard. Lots of people do that. And then now I'm so grateful I did because now I can teach on it and I can talk about it. So same with building a personal brand, and maybe you do collaborations that you're like, that wasn't super aligned. Or maybe you go on a podcast and you talk, I feel like you shared something like this recently where you talked about different things, different directions. You're like, note to self, probably wasn't the most aligned show for what I like to talk about.
Yeah. I talked about that with your Visibility Accelerator when I went on the ice cream show.
Yeah. And then you learn from things that maybe like, all right, you know what, next time I don't know the show, I'm just going to ask a few more questions.
Yeah, totally.
So that it is in line with who you are as a personal brand.
And these things, guys, just a reminder, these things are actually turn out usually to be funny stories.
Yes, you can always use them.
So it's like things will happen in like my personal brand life where I'm like, what on earth happened here? And I'm like, I will laugh about this one day. It's not today, guys.
Yeah. But today we laughed.
Okay, well, love you. This was
Love
so
you.
fun.
This was so fun.
Where can people find you? Give a limited amount of info. Last time she gave her email address.
I think the best place to find me is honestly on Instagram at Ali Aruda. And we'll drop it in the show notes so you can find me. And that's all I'm going to say.
Because I roasted her because she was about to give you guys her social insurance number. And you can find me at Kristina.Bartold. Let us know what resonated with you, what you were thinking about. We love to jam out on these topics, so we're probably going to do this again. So give us ideas. We need ideas.
Yeah, we love feedback from you guys. And we do love how often these episodes for the two of us together get shared. It does really bring us a lot of joy. And it also typically follows up with a DM of like how much they enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
So Please don't hesitate to send us those DMs and let us know exactly what Kristina said, what resonated.
Likewise, and we are words of affirmation girlies, just a reminder.
Yeah, and also love 5-star ratings and reviews. So I'm not asking for much.
Not too much. Okay, guys, let us know what resonated and chat soon.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you took a few seconds and shared this on social media, sent it to a friend, or left a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I'm so grateful to have you part of mine.